All right, so let's jump right into one of the most clever short stories ever. I'm talking about Saki's The Open Window. And trust me, this isn't just some old story. It is a total masterclass in psychological games, some seriously dark humor, and, how to craft the perfect soul-crushing lie. So let's pull back the curtain and see how Saki pulls it off.
The entire story, everything, really just pivots on this one simple question. It's the hook that gets you, it's the central mystery, and honestly, it's the weapon. It's wild. Saki uses this question to build a story so believable, it doesn't just trap the main character, it traps us, the readers, right there with him. We fall for it hook, line, and sinker.
So, who's the unlucky soul who wanders right into this perfectly laid trap? Well, let's meet our guy, Framton Nuttel. And listen, he's no hero, not some bold adventurer. He is just a bundle of nerves, a guy on a countryside trip trying to, calm himself down and deal with his anxiety.
And this is where the irony just gets so thick you could cut it with a knife. Framton's goal? His doctor tells him he needs complete rest, zero mental excitement. But what's his reality? His sister pushes him into making these formal visits on a succession of total strangers. I mean, can you imagine anything worse for an anxious person? He's already walking on eggshells, totally on edge, which of course makes him the perfect, and I mean perfect victim for what's coming next.
And here she is, the architect of it all, the very self-possessed young lady of 15, Vera. This question she asks, it seems so innocent, right? Then you know practically nothing about my aunt? But it's not innocent at all. It's a test. She's sizing him up. And when Framton says, nope, I know nothing, well, that's it. It's like she's just been handed a completely blank canvas. She sees her chance, and boom, she pounces. So let's talk about the tragedy. Because Vera, she doesn't just tell a little white lie. Oh no, she weaves this incredible, totally immersive ghost story. And the way she tells it, with such conviction, it's just hypnotic. You can't help but get sucked in. We, the readers, believe every last word, just like poor Framton does.
Just look at how she builds this thing. It's not some vague tale. No, she gives him a full-on timeline. It happened 3 years ago, to the day. That little detail, to the day, makes it sound so real, like a painful anniversary. Then she adds the gruesome bit about them being swallowed by a treacherous piece of bog. And the final touch? The aunt, every single evening, leaving that window open, just waiting. It paints this picture of just tragic, unending grief.
But this, right here, this is the real genius of it. She doesn't just stop at the timeline. She peppers the story with these tiny, unforgettable details. The little brown spaniel, the husband's white waterproof coat, and maybe the best one, the youngest brother always singing that silly song, Birdie, Why Do You Bound? These aren't just details, they're hooks. They stick in your brain. And, as we'll see, they are what will make the lie feel terrifyingly real later on.
And then she delivers the knockout punch. Just listen to this line. She leans in, and her voice apparently cracks a little, becomes falteringly human. She gives a little shudder. It's pure performance art. This is the moment she seals the deal. It's the final, emotional gut punch that makes the whole thing feel completely, 100% real. She's not just telling a story anymore. She's pretending to be haunted by it herself.
Okay, so Framton is just reeling from this horrible story, and, right on cue, in walks the aunt, Mrs. Sappleton. And this is where things get really, really tense, because now we have two totally different realities crashing into each other. The terrifying ghost story we just heard, and the perfectly normal, cheerful woman standing in front of us.
So Mrs. Sappleton comes in, all smiles, and says this. Now, for anyone else, this is just normal chit-chat. But for Framton, and for us, this sounds completely unhinged. Every single cheerful word she says about her husband and brothers coming home just sounds like proof that she's lost her mind to grief. We're not seeing her anymore. We're seeing her through the story Vera told us.
Yeah, for Framton, this is purely horrible. That's the perfect description. He is completely trapped. He thinks he's accidentally shown up on the anniversary of this horrific event. He's trying so hard to talk about anything else, his nerve cure. But Mrs. Sappleton just keeps looking toward that window, and every time she does, Framton's terror just ratchets up another notch.
And then it happens. The moment we've all been waiting for. The tension just breaks. Suddenly, the aunt's face changes to this look of dazed horror. And Framton, of course, thinks she's seeing ghosts. And to make it even worse, Vera, the little trickster, puts on the same horrified face.
It's a double whammy.
Then she yells it out. Here they are at last. And for Framton, that's it. It's confirmation. His absolute worst fear has come true. The dead are walking. The ghosts are back. It's happening. Right here, right now. And then he looks, and oh man, it's not just shadows. It's 3 figures walking toward the house. And remember all those little details Vera mentioned? Well, here they are. They're carrying guns. One of them has that white coat on. And trailing right behind them, the tired little brown spaniel. Check, check, and check. Every single part of her story is now staring him in the face. And if that wasn't enough, this is the final nail in the coffin. Out of the twilight, he hears a voice singing that exact song. I say, Birdie, why do you bound? The song. It's the last piece of the puzzle. It all fits. In Framton's mind, there is absolutely no doubt anymore. The ghosts are real, they're here, and yeah, so much for his nerve cure.
So what happens next? Just pure, absolute chaos. All that psychological tension that Vera so carefully built up just explodes. It goes from creepy ghost story to a full-on physical panic. The prank has landed. Big time.
He doesn't even say goodbye. He just bolts. He grabs his stuff, flies out the door, tears down the driveway, and shoots out the gate so fast he almost runs over a guy on a bicycle. I mean, that's not just being startled. That is pure, unadulterated terror, all thanks to Vera.
And this is maybe the best line in the whole story. The husband comes in, asks who that was who just bolted out of there, and Mrs. Sappleton says, "A most extraordinary man. One would think he had seen a ghost." The irony is just perfect, right? She has absolutely no idea how right she is. He does think he saw a ghost, and the reason is sitting right there, looking perfectly innocent.
All right, so the dust has settled, Framton is long gone, and now we get the final reveal. The curtain is pulled back, and we see the master artist, Vera, for who she really is. And we finally get to see just how deep her slightly terrifying talent really goes. So her family asks what happened, and without even blinking, she comes up with this. I expect it was the spaniel. She invents a whole new lie, right on the spot, to explain why Framton ran away. Her coolness is just incredible. That whole ghost story, that wasn't some big, elaborate, one-time thing for her. This is just what she does. She is an absolute natural.
And get this, her second lie is just as crazy and detailed as the first one. She says Framton told her he was once chased by a pack of dogs into a cemetery somewhere on the Ganges River and had to spend the night in a freshly dug grave. I mean, who comes up with that? The sheer detail is nuts. She literally created this whole dramatic backstory in about 5 seconds. It just proves this is a real innate talent for her.
Which brings us to the perfect, iconic final line of the whole story. Romance at short notice was her specialty. And when Saki says romance, he doesn't mean love stories. He means capital R romance. Wild, fantastical, imaginative tales. Making up incredible fiction out of thin air, that was her thing. That was her art. And it kind of leaves you wondering, doesn't it? What's scarier, the ghosts we imagine, or the brilliant, maybe a little bit bored, young person who knows exactly which strings to pull to make us see them?